What is up, and welcome to a new segment in the Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silver's universe called Brett's Bets, where we pick winners in a handful of college football matchups each week to prove our expertise. Now, we use gambling spreads and terminology, but we don't condone gambling, particularly if it's not legal where you are, because we are not built for prison. This is for entertainment only. With that being said, it is my honor to welcome my co-host for Brett's Bets, a man who is so good at picking games that we've had to hide his identity. Bookies, college football experts, everybody is out to get him because he simply knows too much. So I can't tell you his name, but he does have several aliases. That's right. He's known as the Spartanburg Spread Beater, a.k.a. the Irmo Earner, a.k.a. the Columbia Coverer, a.k.a. the Florence Forecaster, a.k.a. the Atlanta Assassin with the sniper sight trained right on your bookie's chest. Originally from L-Town, a.k.a. Landrum, a.k.a. L-Town again, but he's not taking any L's this week. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the expert.
All right, let's get right into it here. First game that we are picking this week is Houston at Texas San Antonio. So we are going Houston -4. We're willing to lay the points on the road because simply this is a good matchup for us. So both teams are pretty good. Houston 9-4 last year. Texas San Antonio went 12-2. But here's the thing. Texas San Antonio likes to run the ball. They want to establish the run. That's how they play. Houston will be able to stop the run a little bit. They're very talented all over the place, but particularly on the defensive line. I'm sure people will remember all of the first-round picks on the defensive line they've sent to the NFL lately. So they'll be able to limit the run. On the other hand, one of the few weaknesses Texas San Antonio has is stopping the pass. They were 105th in the nation last year stopping the pass. Probably not going to get any better this year. On the other hand, Houston, they bring back their star senior quarterback, Clayton Tune. He's going to have plenty of targets to throw to, bringing back some guys from last year and some new transfer portal guys. We know that Dana Holgorsen is the coach there at Houston. He likes to throw it around. So it's pretty simple. We've got a team that likes to throw the ball and can throw the ball versus a team that can't stop it. So that's who we're taking. Houston -4.
Saturday, 3:30, CBS Sports Network. Check it out. See if the expert is correct. Next up, who we got?
All right, next game. We have Florida State versus LSU. The pick here is LSU -3. So at some point this year, I'm going to start telling y'all if it looks too good to be true, it is. Not the case this early in the season. Vegas doesn't know anything yet. We don't know anything yet. We keep it simple. We don't overthink it. If we see a spread that looks too good to be true, we're not going to look the gift horse in the mouth, whatever the saying is. We're just going to take it. So we've got a LSU team that there's a lot of question marks, of course, but we know they're going to be loaded with talent versus a FSU team that is 5-7 last year, probably going to go 6-6, 7-5 this year. Middle of the road ACC team versus I don't know where in the SEC, but it doesn't matter because they're in the SEC. We're always going to take the SEC team right here. And if that's not enough to convince you, this is basically a home game for LSU. It's in New Orleans. And let's also talk about Brian Kelly for just a second.
My favorite.
He leaves Notre Dame. He takes, I think he's the highest paid coach in the country now. If not, he's close. He's got a ton of pressure on him. He doesn't have to win this year, but he's got to win a title within the next few years. The pressure is on. He has had all offseason to prepare for this game. He can't lose it. You can't get all this money. You can't leave Notre Dame and come out of the gates and lose to an average ACC school. He's not going to do it. He's too good of a coach. There's too much pressure on him. LSU's too talented. LSU -3. Lock it in.
That game is Sunday at 7:30 on ABC. So you and all your gift horses gather around to watch it. What is the next pick?
All right. Our next one is going to take a little while to pay out for you, but it will be worth the wait. we've got Alabama to win the national title. So we're going to get plus 190 on the odds. That means if we bet $100, we're going to get paid 190 when Nick Saban inevitably lifts that trophy at the end of the year. So again, we're not overthinking things. We've got another gift horse here. These odds are basically saying that Bama has a 35% chance to win the title. The plus 190 translates to roughly 35%. Does that sound right to you? Because it doesn't to me. I think their chances are way above 50%. We're going to hop on the Nick Saban Revenge Tour, and we're going to cash that bet come January.
Spoken like a man who watched the Beyond the Arc college football preview extravaganza that I did with another one of our correspondents, my good friend Brett. So I know coming up, so we've got two extra special picks here. This first one is the slippery basketball court at Sterett Hall on the Old Navy base in North Charleston. Slam dunk of the week. What do we got?
Thank you. So in this game, wait a minute. I want you to look in my face when I tell you this. We've got North Carolina versus Appalachian State. This is my second favorite play of the week. The theme here is the situational edge, and we've got the better team. So let's talk about the situational edge here. So in college football, it's young, it's kids, it's young adults, it's a revved up, energetic fan base. It's all about emotion, right? So one of the biggest emotional / situational advantages you can have is when a team feels like they're the underdog, when they feel like they're the little brother, when they got a chip on their shoulder and they want to make a statement. That's what we get with App State. Okay. I'm sure you know Appalachian State, small college in Boone, North Carolina. They're going to be going against the quote unquote big brother, North Carolina, Tar Heels, Chapel Hill, flagship university of the state. App State wants to make a statement here. Now, normally when we bet these teams, these underdogs, we're taking a less talented team. That's what underdog means, after all. We also get the better team in this bet, however. So it's perfect. We get everything. So let's look at North Carolina real quick. What do you get with North Carolina? Last year, they had a great quarterback. He had great people to throw to. They had a lot of talent on defense. They still sucked. They went 6-7, couldn't stop the run. They were 97th in the nation stopping the run. And we all remember what our Gamecocks did to them in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. And it's not like we were some juggernaut on the ground. So App State, I told you with the situation, they're going to have the chip on their shoulder, but what do they actually have on the field? They went 10-4 last year, and they're returning 4 offensive linemen. They're starting quarterback, and not 1, but 2 1,000-yard rushers. So you're putting that up against a team that was damn near 100th in the nation stopping the run. I'm taking App State on the field. I'm taking them situationally. I'm taking them all the way. App State is the pick +1.
My Lord, a master of disguise. That game is Saturday at noon on ESPNU. And our final special pick of the week is going to be the Eastlake MARTA Dash clutch pick of the week. What do we got?
All right. My favorite play of the week. We've got Virginia Tech at Old Dominion, and we're taking Old Dominion +7.5. So remember everything I said about the little brother situation, the smaller school in the state playing the flagship school of the state, all that. It applies here. Old Dominion's in Norfolk, Virginia. They're the smaller school. They've only been FBS for a few years, and they're playing Virginia Tech, historically the best school in Virginia. So we're going to have the quote unquote underdog. We're going to have the fired up home crowd in Norfolk. We're going to have the fired up Old Dominion Monarchs. So that's the situation. Now let's look at what's on the field. Old Dominion went 6-7 last year, and they return 11 starters on offense. Mm-hmm. There's 11 players total on offense.
I don't think you can get any more than that.
They return everybody, and they return 6 people on defense. So, we don't always look at experience only because, if you weren't that good, what's the point in coming back? We know all that. However, game one, the first few weeks of the year, we care about experience. It matters. We're not having kids out there playing their first ever college football game. So we've got the experience. We've got the chip on their shoulder. We've got the home crowd. Now let's look at Virginia Tech. New coach, first-year head coach Brent Pry. A very boring hire. He may work out for him, but he's 52 years old. He's never been a head coach before. He was an assistant for 30 years. He was most recently a defensive coordinator at Penn State. He's going to come in. He's going to try to play a Jim Harbaugh style, 3 tight end, run the ball a lot, focus on the defense. So, and also Virginia Tech, their last coach, Justin Fuente, they kept him too long, kind of like we did with Muschamp.
Yep.
The recruiting went down the toilet. They don't really have talent anywhere on the field. So we've got a fairly low talent Virginia Tech team. We've got a boring style of play. And we've got an Old Dominion team. Now, I said all that good about them. Let me say one bad thing really quick. They could not stop the pass last year. They were 101st in the nation against the pass. But here's the thing. Virginia Tech doesn't have the receivers. They don't have the quarterback to exploit that. So it really doesn't matter. And even if they did, they've got a boring head coach who's not going to throw the ball down the field anyway. So we're not worried about the one weakness that we have with Old Dominion. We're focusing on the positives, and we are locking in Old Dominion getting 7.5 points at home versus Virginia Tech.
Boom. Friday, ESPNU, 7 o'clock. Lots of experience. That's why they call them Old Dominion. That will do it for this week's picks. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to the Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers YouTube channel, and also subscribe to the Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. New episodes every Monday, so be on the lookout for that as well. On behalf of both Brett and the expert, we will see you next week.